Hi, my name is Richard C. I'm a math tutor here at Wyzant, answering a question submitted by a student. This is a nice trigonometry question. As usual, first thing I'm going to do is draw a graph of the situation. So this is the coordinates of the point, -2, 7. So it's going to be like, it's going to look something like this. We draw a right triangle here. And this is -2, and this is 7 here. And this is our reference angle, which I'm going to call alpha. And Pythagorean theorem will give us the length of the hypotenuse here. So this is going to be the square root of 49 plus 4, which is the square root of 53. Because 7 squared is 49, 2 squared is 4. So this is root 53. Now that we've filled in our right triangle, we can proceed to answer part A. So the sine of theta, by the way, is theta is this is theta, just the angle of interest here. Okay, so let's continue with this. So sine theta, and here we're just using secθ, so it's opposite over hypotenuse, 7 over root 53. And we can rewrite this as 7 root 53 over 53, so that we don't get the teacher annoyed with us. The secant is the 1 over the cosine, so it's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. So instead of adjacent over hypotenuse, so the cosine is going to be hypotenuse, which would be root 53 over the adjacent -2. I'm sorry, I wrote cosine there. I meant to write secant. Because that's just the cosine that's flipped, and the cotangent is the tangent that's flipped. So it's going to be adjacent over over opposite, so -2 over 7. Okay, so that's just secθ in part A here. Nothing fancy going on. And we just double check opposite over hypotenuse here. Secant is cosine flipped. So it's hypotenuse over adjacent, and then cotangent is tangent flipped, so it's adjacent over opposite. Okay. If we want the angle, we can use any of these things to find it. I'm going to use the tangent because it's easier. So the tangent of theta is going to be -7/2. And then I just go on my calculator. Theta is going to be the inverse tangent of -7/2. And so theta, I have to put this in my calculator now. So inverse tangent of -7 divided by 2 is going to give me 74.05. Okay, so now we have to just get this. So we've got an angle down here that's 74, roughly negative 74 here. And you can see if we just extend this triangle up here, this is going to be 74 here. So that's giving our reference angle at 74.05. And so the theta that we're after here is a positive angle. And so we'll just take 180. And add that. I'm going to get the theta here is going to be 105.9 degrees. If that's 105.9 degrees, then alpha is going to be 74.1 degrees, which is what we're after. Okay, so that's part B. Here's part A. And then what's the measure of the first negative coterminal angle? So once again, a diagram helps. So you want an angle that looks like that, basically, in the negative direction. Well, you can see it will have traveled negative 180 and then another negative and then up another negative 74. We're calling this 0.1. So it's just, we're adding these two together. 180 plus, so it's going to be negative 254.1 degrees. And you can see that pretty easily if you subtract that from 270. No, there's no need to do that. You can see it just because it's 74 degrees beyond the 180. Just imagine traveling around in the negative direction. Here you're at negative 180 and here you're at negative 254. So that would be the first negative coterminal angle. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. If you're having trouble with this, it just means that you really just need to work on this a while longer and get used to moving positively and negatively and get used to the idea of a reference angle versus the angle of interest. And just in general, just get used to traveling around the circle. And you should be able to cope with this pretty well. Okay, well, that's it for this problem. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.